Have you noticed how some students ace all of their exams with chill study sessions, while some people struggle immensely but they study hours on end every day? What if the secret for acing your exams isn't just to study as much as you can, but instead actually study smart? Whether your exam is in 2 weeks or if it's tomorrow, these tips will give you the tools on how to actually ace them all. Ready to change on how to actually study smarter? Let's get started. Some people think that it's a dream to read your coursework and then just memorize it for days, weeks and months afterwards. But you can actually do that using active recall. This technique isn't about reading the paper from top to bottom. It's more about engaging with the actual material to actually get a better sense of knowledge and retention. Here's how it works. So first, choose a topic or a section or a part of the notes that you want to remember. And then you read it thoroughly. And then when you've read it, you turn off your computer or you close down your book and you take a moment, you breathe, and then you recite down every single piece of information that you can remember from what you read. When you force your brain to recall information, you are doing more than just memorize it. You learn how to actually access that information from your brain, and it's sort of like mimicking your actual exam, which is really good. Then you read textbook again and see if you have any gaps in what you wrote. Those gaps are the important ones because you need to want to use them and make them into flashcards in which you can study with later on. By identifying what you can't remember, you are actually studying those parts that are important to you that you need to learn, because everything else you already know. This can cut down your work with 75% if it's good enough. Let's go on to practice papers. These are the questions that will give you insights in how you actually learn and what you need to learn for the upcoming exam. Start by gathering as much past papers and sample questions as you possibly can for the exam that is coming up. Then simulate an exam environment where you don't have your phone, you don't have your laptop, you can't search up anything, and you answer these questions one by one until you have finished them all without peeking at results. This strategy does wonders for multiple of reasons. First, it familiarizes you with the questions and how they are formatted and the layout of the actual exam. Secondly, it shows your weak spots and where you actually need to study, which means that you can cut the things that you know, which means that you have to study less, which is a good thing. But there's actually one big thing with past papers. They teach you the art of time management in specific situations, like an exam. Maybe you learn that you are really slow on the tougher questions and that you need to do them first and then go on to the simpler questions, or you find out a bunch of other weak spots in your way of answering on exam day. That's where we get into intensity, which is my third tip. Your study sessions should be like a sprint, but how you lay them out should be like a marathon. When you actually study, you need to study in a highly concentrated way where you do sort of sprints and study effectively, and you only think about studying. Not any phone nearby, not any distractions, just you sitting with the material for 25 to 30 minutes, studying. And then you take a break for 5 minutes and then you keep on going. But how do you actually implement this in your study session? First, I want you to set clear and achievable goals for each study interval. That is basically what you aim to achieve or what you aim to have learned by the end of the day or the end of the study session. Then eliminate all distractions and give that study session everything that you got. And after you have studied intensely for 25 to 30 minutes, take a break. And that's a genuine break. Don't look at your desk, don't be near the books, go to another room and just do something else so you can take your mind off it. When you feel that you have recharged, you go back at it again and do the same thing over and over until you have reached the goals you set in the beginning. This not only helps prevent you against burnout, but it also helps your brain to actually process the information that you have learned so that it can retain it for much longer. To make this strategy the most effective as it can be, end the sessions by reflecting on how it went, what you could have done better, and if you see any distractions or if you think about about anything else, have a notebook nearby and write everything down so you know what's distracting you so that you can eliminate them later on. That's the way I do it. Alright, you have now learned the strategies on how to ace your next exam. The best time with this is that you actually have time to do other things. You have time to enjoy with your friends and be with your loved ones. This opens up so many doors so that you don't have to study 8 hours a day to actually reach your goals. This will give you so much freedom, and I can't really understate it. Now imagine walking into your next exam room without stress, without anxiety, and knowing that you will be 100% correct on each and every question. Why? Because you have prepped with the best tools out there on how to become the best student. So before you dive into your next study session, be sure to use active recall, practice papers, and interval study sessions, and I promise you will be fine. Now I have to study, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.